All right, so if you had to choose between an older, dated property that's been lived in for years and years or brand new construction home for the exact same price, which one would you choose? My name is Dan Parker with the Best Life Home Team, your San Diego real estate resource, and the truth is the answer might not be as simple as you think. Let me break this down so you know exactly what you're getting into and you can make the best decision for you and for your family. And the first thing to consider is the current state of the market here in San Diego County, which is historically low inventory, or the quantity of homes for sale. The amount of people that are selling their homes is so drastically low that it means that even though we have fewer buyers and less demand out there, we're still seeing bidding wars. We're still seeing homes going over asking price. We're still seeing contingencies being released, and there are so few homes to choose from, but it's a challenging market to get an offer accepted. So what this means is it drags out the process. It makes things more expensive. It means that you're going to have to compromise more often than not if you're a home buyer looking for a resale home. Because of these market-specific challenges, new home construction is extremely enticing. And on top of that, you also have developers that are still offering incentives for buyers. So you're not going to see that on the resale market. We've seen over the last 2 years, we've seen developers offer $10,000 or $15,000 buyer credits when purchasing a house. We've seen them offering 2-1 temporary rate buydowns. And most recently, I've been seeing developers offering at an extremely low rate. I mean, we're seeing rates get up to 7.5%, almost 8%. And there's some developers right now that are offering a 6-month rate lock for 5.99%, which is crazy. Imagine getting that. Imagine a seller of a resale home offering 5.99%. And you could get that right now today if you go to 26 Tides in Oceanside, which is a California West development. And let's not forget, with a new construction home, there are usually going to be opportunities to customize the home to your liking, although to be honest, it's a lot less now than there was opportunities 10 years ago because there's so much demand and so few homes for sale, even when it comes to new construction. The other benefit is what I tend to find is you're buying a home with instant equity. I mean, it doesn't hurt that the market continues to go up, but a lot of times we see a new phase being developed. It's going to be $50,000 more expensive than the previous phase. So the time you close on a house, your home is worth more than you bought it for. But one specific example, we had a young family, budgeted around $1 million. They had 3 kids, so they needed a bigger home. They wanted to be in a nice move-in ready home in a nice neighborhood. And we spent 2 months touring older properties with various level of repair, a lot of maintenance that's needed, a lot of different things that they didn't really have the capacity or the financing to take on. And I can tell you from experience, this process can get daunting. It can get exhausting when you're running through these types of scenarios. So 2 months in the market trying to find a resale home, and then we ended up stumbling into a really nice new construction development that kind of checked all their boxes. On top of that, it was under budget. It was significantly larger than a lot of the other homes that we saw at 2,500 square feet. It had 10-foot ceilings. It had modern designs and appliances. They got $10,000 in seller credits and the developer credits for their closing costs. And then when they moved in a couple months later and the developer was releasing the next round of homes, they were $60,000 to $70,000 more expensive than the home that they purchased. So for this family, it was a complete no-brainer. Now, don't get me wrong, when it comes to new construction, there are plenty of downsides as well. It's not all upside. It does sound really good, does sound really enticing, but there are some negatives. For example, a lot of San Diego is developed. And so a lot of the main hubs throughout, especially the city of San Diego, there's not a lot of opportunity for new construction. We do see infill projects that generally are between 50 and 100 homes, so it's not any massive new developments. But the majority of the new construction homes in San Diego County, they're going to be south in Chula Vista and Otay Ranch. They're going to be farther east in El Cajon and Santee, or they're going to be farther north in Escondido, or even getting up into Valley Center, which is starting to get out into the fringe, out into the boonies. By the way, as a side note, it can be a little bit challenging to find the homes that are available, the new construction homes and new construction developments here in San Diego County, because generally they're not popping up on Redfin searches, Zillow searches, Realtor.com. On the other search sites that you're on, you're not always going to see these new construction opportunities. And their websites can be out of date all the time. We run into this all the time where their websites are not accurate with availability and pricing. But my team and I have a solution. We have a master list of all the new construction homes available in San Diego with availability and pricing. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out below or text me the words new homes and I'll send you our list. And some other things to consider when buying new construction home that are not going to be super positive is the monthly fees are generally going to add up. These new developments, of course, they're going to have an HOA. I mean, it's very rare that they don't have an HOA these days. A lot of the resale homes, a lot of the, especially first-time home buyer communities in San Diego, homes that were built in the 50s, 60s, and even 70s don't have HOAs. So if you're trying to avoid an HOA that is managing your neighborhood, your community, telling you what to do, telling you what you can't do, then you may want an older house. If you're looking into new construction, you have to know that those fees are coming and there are going to be some restrictions as far as what you can and can't do. But on top of those HOA fees, you're generally going to get in these new communities a a Melrose tax. Now, some people don't know what this is. Essentially, this is an additional tax on top of property tax that is generally for a specific period of time. So somewhere between 20 and 30 years has historically been the most common, although I'm starting to see some that last 30 to 50 years. They last a lifetime or more. So you want to look into those Melrose fees. They could easily be $2,000 or $3,000 a year or more. But as annoying as they can be, you feel like you're throwing that money down the drain. The good news is it's going directly into your local community. It's going to help build roads, help build schools, a police department. It's going to help beautify the community and with landscaping. So the communities where there are high Melrose taxes, you're also going to see the community is going to turn into something very, very nice down the road. 5, 10, 15 years down the line. It's helping to increase your property value. It's helping to increase a draw to that area. And generally in San Diego County, you'll notice when you go into newer communities, a lot of times they just feel nicer when you're driving through them. So that's Melrose tax. Make sure you're taking a look at that. Even if you're looking at resale homes that were built in the last 10 years, a lot of times they're going to have Melrose, and sometimes it doesn't pop up as a very easily visible thing on Redfin, so you want to make sure to ask those good questions. Now, there are 4 main other considerations that you want to look at when you're looking at a new home versus a resale home. The first consideration is going to be inspections and repairs. Now, I always recommend, even with a brand new construction home, you still want an inspector in there to make sure they did everything properly, to make sure things were wired up right, to make sure the air conditioning works, to make sure that they didn't cut any corners or anything like that, because always going to be something that can be fixed or repaired. And it's better to know that before you move in so that they can fix those things right away, as opposed to sometimes you move in and it takes them months to get those items fixed. But when it comes to a resale home that is 30, 50, 100 years old, of course, you have inspections. You're probably going to want to do more inspections like a sewer scope. You're going to want to check the pool if there's a pool. Maybe you're going to want to get a roof inspection. And just generally, there's going to be more wear and tear on the major components of the house, from the roof to the foundation to the HVAC, the AC, the water heater, all the appliances in the house. So the nice thing about a new construction home is generally when you're looking at 10, 15, 20 years, there's going to be significantly less cost to maintain your house as opposed to an older home. You're going to have, it's a lot more likely that things are going to pop up that are going to cost $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 to repair. Another thing to consider when looking at new homes versus resale homes is the lot sizes and the density of the community. Generally, what we've seen, especially over the last 20 years, is the new developments here in San Diego County. The homes are really nice. They're very modern. They have an open floor plan. So a lot of times when you look at the square footage on paper, let's say it's a 2,000 square foot house, it could feel like a bigger home than a 2,000 square foot resale home because it's more segmented. It's not an open floor plan. It's not as much usable space. So you generally get a better layout with new construction homes, but a lot of times we're also seeing homes that have no backyard or very minimal backyard. You know, historically here in San Diego, we're looking at lots that are closer to 6,000 to 10,000 square feet, and it's not uncommon to buy a brand new construction single family home here in San Diego that is on a 4,000 or less square foot lot. I mean, there's zero opportunity to build a pool or do anything major in the backyard like that. But sometimes that can be okay, because the next thing you want to consider is, what does the community offer? And a lot of the new construction developments that we're seeing, especially the bigger ones, they're having a lot of community space, a lot, like acres and acres of park space, of basketball courts, of tennis courts, all sorts of things that you can do with your family. So you're probably going to get less backyard space, but then you have more community space, more pools, more places to hang out around the community, which is a huge benefit because you don't have to maintain those things. You're going to have to pay the HOA to help maintain those things, but you don't have to maintain them yourselves. So if you have a really busy lifestyle, you don't want to maintain a big yard, but you want to have access to a lot of green spaces, some of these new construction developments might be a really good fit for you. And the last consideration when you're looking at new homes versus resale is the resale price of your property. If you want to go and sell it in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, what is going to have a better resale value? Now, I don't think anything is more impactful than the neighborhood in the place that you are purchasing that house. That is going to have the most significant impact on the resale value of your property down the line. And some of the best rules of thumbs are, what our parents tell us, which is don't have the nicest home on the block. You kind of want the opposite so that you can fix up your house over time. It's also good to be near major universities. It's good to be near walkable areas and beaches and things like that. Those are generally going to have the best opportunity to hold resale or to appreciate over time. But when it comes to specifically new homes versus resale homes, I actually think that there is quite an advantage of buying a brand new home and that it has way more opportunity to appreciate over time. And part of that is because I think there is a little bit of built-in equity equity with the purchase price that you are paying, I generally think a lot of the new construction homes here in San Diego, they could sell them for 5 or 10% more than they are. So you're getting that instant equity. And when you look at resale value, it instantly is going up. There are a lot of benefits of owning a new construction home, but of course, it's not for everybody. It might not be for you. That's okay. But you need to know this. If you're considering a new construction home at all, the very first time you go and visit one of these communities, the first thing you think of is, let's go visit it. Let's check out some model homes. But you need to know, generally the process of buying a new construction home, you are working with their sales representative the entire time. They're helping with all of the paperwork. They're helping with the coordination. They are your one resource in this transaction. So if you actually want someone to represent you on the back end, you have to show up that very first time with a real estate agent to represent you. If you want them to be able to have an opportunity to represent you throughout that transaction, be someone that you can ask questions to, you can bounce ideas off of that can help you negotiate closing cost credits or various things throughout the transaction. So just make sure before you visit that new construction community, you talk to your agent, you bring them in there with you. Of course, my team and I, we're happy to help. We do these things all the time. We know a lot about new construction here in San Diego, so reach out. Our contact info is down below. But before we start hitting the ground on any of these, make sure to check out the top new communities throughout San Diego County. And remember, if you want a complete list of all the new developments throughout the county with their current pricing and availability, message us down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.